1964, I went on to the local committee, and right from then it was important that the talk about the second school was one of the things we talked about. So I was just a political animal in the society, and I was an Auckland rep at the National Council. We had a very vigorous society which achieved an awful lot for physios, mainly run by the men in private practice. When you see things about physio in the paper, it's always about better ACC dues for physios and things like that. It's always the men that do it. One of the chief guys in the society was Len Ring. He happened to be in my year. He was much older than all the rest of us. He was a remedial gymnast in Britain. He was in the commandos during the war, and he was tough as old boots. And he came to New Zealand and he worked as a remedial gymnast at Auckland Hospital, which was in the physio gym. And he decided he'd like to do physio. So he had a couple of kids by this stage, and I think he got a grant. He got a government grant, went down to physio school the same year as me, worked his butt off to get through because he hadn't ever had much schooling. He was a Jew from the East End of London. His wife Polly worked and supported him up here, and the two kids were up here, and he got through with... He worked terribly hard, and we all liked him, but he was so different from all the rest of the students. And then he got into he was a political animal. His brother-in-law was Eddie Isby. You wouldn't know that, but Eddie Isby was a Labour member of Parliament and worked for the Labour movement and unions and things. That was Len's life. He did huge things for physio. His knees and his hips packed up, so he became a teacher of how to manage your back. He used to see him on television. Don't use your back as a crane, you know. He got a Queen Elizabeth grant and went to Loughborough in England to do a postgraduate degree. He got a degree from Loughborough, came back here and taught back management and all this sort of thing. He was a self-made man, and he was the Auckland Society's political animal. Well, I became president after he'd been president. There were many, after I stopped being president, there were many other men, but Len quite liked me because I was in his year, I think. So anything I did, he really supported me, which was great. And we had quite a few blind physios who were in private practice, who were also political animals and worked for the society. And the society altogether got behind this bunch of Sheila Glendinning, Fran Elkin, me, and others who were in hospital service to get the school going. That was really, really important. But we didn't have such enthusiasm from the society out of Auckland, like the Wellington branch and the Christchurch branch. They weren't so keen on this Auckland school being established, except for that person I mentioned, Joan Durbridge in Christchurch. She could see that it was the only place for it to be. Wellington wanted it, and Christchurch thought they had a very good medical clinical school, but Joan Durbridge thought it was right in Auckland. But Len Ring really was the one that kept all the men thinking that what we were doing in the society in Auckland was a good idea. So I was involved in the society in that regard. And once the school started, the society nominated me for the physiotherapy board, and I won the election evidently, easily, but I wasn't allowed to be it. Michael Bassett said you can't have, Fran was automatically on the board, you see. You can't have two from one school. So, and Len Ring kicked up a fuss about that. So my society involvement was very good, it was very productive, and all these men who were in private practice were really, although they were out for what the society could do for them as their union, as it were, they were really supporting physiotherapy as a whole and the school in particular. So my society membership after that became much more limited because I was so involved with the school. But it was prior to that, from 63 to 73, were really my years of being very involved with the society. I stood for national president, and then it all just got too much. I said I didn't want to be because I was too involved with the school. So I withdrew my nomination at the 11th hour.